Welcome to Top 30. I'm Kristen Smith.
And I'm Richard Bacon, and here are your top 30 stories in 30 minutes. A new study shows the flu vaccine may be only 10% effective this year. The study, in the New England Journal of Medicine, is based on how well the vaccine worked in Australia, which just finished its flu season. Researchers believe the low prevention rate is partly because the flu strain has mutated. But doctors still say a flu shot is better than no flu shot, and it can still be very effective in certain people. Here's the latest map, which shows how widespread the flu is in the United States. The darker the color, the more people it has impacted. This year's flu season has started earlier, but experts warn it's too early to tell just how bad it will get.
It's that time of the year when everyone looks for deals on Christmas presents, but they might be paying more for the trees they go under. The price of Christmas trees is up 5 to 10% this year. Some areas are already running low. That's according to the National Christmas Tree Association. Unlike goods made on assembly lines, a Christmas tree between 7 and 8 feet tall takes about 10 years to grow. It was about a decade ago when the U.S. economy hit its lowest point since the Great Depression. Christmas tree sales started going down, and so did prices. Fewer spruces, pines, and firs were cut down. That left farmers with less space to plant replacements. During the recession, many growers left the costly tree business. The trees have to be treated for insects. As they grow, they're often shaped by hand. When they mature, they're big and expensive to transport. A spokesperson for the NCTA says everybody looking for a real tree will be able to get one, but it is a tight market. Experts recommend not waiting around if you want to have your pick. A woman who recently gave birth made history, becoming the first to do so in the United States after having received a uterus transplant. The unidentified mother gave birth to a baby boy in November at Baylor University Medical Center in Dallas. Facebook has just introduced Messenger Kids. The standalone app is for children ages 6 to 12, and it allows kids to chat with their friends, has an age-appropriate gift selection, and they can even make video calls with kid-friendly filters. And the annual teddy bear toss at the Hershey Bears game in Pennsylvania had fans throwing teddy bears of all sizes onto the ice rink after the home team scored their first goal. The AHL team managed to collect a record high 25,017 bears this year. All the toys were donated to charities for kids and families in need.
Let's go to the New York Stock Exchange for our Fox Business Minute with your friend and mine, Nicole Pedalides. Nicole, I am hearing that Samsung is coming out with some truly fascinating technology.
That's right, Richard. Forget palm reading for telling your future. A new Samsung patent application proposes using palm scanning as a way of identifying users on Samsung phones and help them to get their forgotten passwords by displaying them in a pattern rather than showing the actual code. A new report finds that 3/4 of all mobile traffic will be used for video in 2023, up from just over half of all traffic today. What does that mean for you? Well, with all the data being used, you'll need a bigger data plan. CVS is set to buy Aetna for $69 billion. That makes it the largest corporate acquisition in 2017. The deal comes at a time when healthcare payers and pharmacies are seeing shifts in the industry, such as changes in the Affordable Care Act and rising drug prices.
Nicole, what is the purpose of this merger?
Richard, CVS wants to use its low-cost clinics to provide medical services to Aetna's estimated 23 million members. The merger could also help the new company negotiate lower drug prices and boost CVS's retail business. More Top 30 when we return.
The number of children in foster care in America has increased for the 4th year in a row. A new government report states that in 2012, there were 397,000 children in foster care, and that by the end of 2016, there were 437,500. Those numbers have been slowly increasing year by year. The data also notes that drug abuse by a parent was a factor for 34% of the kids in foster care, up 2% from the year before. Stephen Wagner of the ACF said the continued trend of parental substance abuse is very concerning, especially when it means children must enter foster care as a result. Sadly, as the number of children in foster care has significantly increased, the number of homes available to accommodate them has not. But there is some good news. There was an increase in US adoptions from the welfare system, up to 57,000 in 2016 from 54,000 in 2015.
Florida State won its final regular season game of the year this weekend without the head coach who was on the sideline for all the previous games this year. That's because Jimbo Fisher resigned last week to sign the richest total deal in college football history. Fisher will be the next head coach at Texas A&M. ESPN is reporting the contract is worth $75 million over 10 years. Rumors were swirling about Fisher leaving the Seminoles to take over the Aggie program. And on Friday morning, a reporter from the Tallahassee Democrat tweeted this picture saying Fisher had put his Christmas tree outside his house to be picked up as garbage, a clue he wasn't planning to stick around for long. Fisher was 83-23 during his 8 seasons at FSU and won a national championship in 2013. He'll take over a school that won its only national championship in 1939.
Many people are aware that carbon dioxide is the primary culprit of climate change. But most people don't know that it can be converted from a gas into useful products. Jason Bellini explains in today's Wall Street Journal Moving Upstream report.
Thanks to new technologies, carbon dioxide, CO2, can be turned into things like bricks, shoes, even food for animals. These shoes, for example, are made almost entirely out of CO2 fiber. One research group projects that CO2 conversion could become a $1 trillion industry.
At the end of the day, is this anything more than feel good?
I think it is. What we're really trying to do is say, this is a promising technology, this idea of converting CO2 into stuff. We really think it can reduce emissions. And we think there's a business opportunity, which means it could run on its own.
Gaurav Sant and his team are semi-finalists in the Carbon X Prize, a competition for coming up with new ways to capture carbon and turn it into something. The winning team gets $20 million.
This is a place where you spend a lot of time, I imagine.
Well, we've spent a lot of time down here, especially over the last couple of months.
Got some carbon dioxide going on here.
Yes, indeed.
Big vats of CO2.
That's right.
As innovators like Sant try to turn carbon into cash crops, don't expect to see those shoes I was wearing anytime soon at the mall. Richard?
And you can watch the full story, the CO2 of Things, at wsj.com/upstream. Ikaria is known as the Greek island where people forget to die. 1 in 3 Icarians will reach the age of 90, which is almost 3 times the rate of Americans. It's more than just the island's idyllic setting. Their lifestyle is such that they remain physically active, take daily naps, eat a plant-based Mediterranean diet, and live a communal way of life. And according to researchers, Icarians have a much lower rate of dementia on average as well, and live 10 years longer before developing heart disease or cancer. Doctors are so fascinated by the lifespan and the health of the residents, they're studying their DNA. One woman who is 106 said, quote, "The secret to longevity, first of all, you have to have kindness in your heart." Kristen, I hear you have a story about a lost photo album.
Yes, Richard, we have an incredibly touching story out of Canada that is sure to tug at your heartstrings. About 12 years ago, Nikita Roski's mother found a family photo album at a grocery store in Winnipeg. They tried to find the family it belonged to, but had no luck. Fast forward to November of 2017, when Nikita decided to post photos from the album on her Facebook page, asking if anyone recognized the family so they could return the album. Well, imagine her surprise when Michelle Mansell was tagged in the post by a friend who recognized her family in the photos. Michelle typed back in the comments, "My tears flowed pretty quickly seeing your post. You're a great person. I can't thank you enough for getting this out on social media and being determined to find the owner." What makes this story even more meaningful is that Michelle's husband passed away 4 years ago. Looking at those pictures and just knowing that my kids can look at them, Michelle told CTV Winnipeg, "I know that they're going to be really special for the kids to have these." Sometimes Santa delivers an early Christmas miracle in the most unexpected of ways.
Senate Republicans have passed their tax bill, and here is what happens next. Congressional Republicans want to send President Trump a bill to sign by Christmas. But first, they have to resolve the differences between tax bills in the House and in the Senate. The Senate bill eliminates a penalty for Americans who don't buy health insurance. It's still in the House bill. Both bills cut the corporate tax rate from 35% to 20%. Both cut taxes for individuals, but some may see their tax bills go up because the bills eliminate popular deductions like state and local income taxes. Another controversial issue is the mortgage interest deduction. New homeowners can write off interest on loans up to $1 million. The House bill cuts that number in half. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell said, "I'm very optimistic about it, and we think this will make a big difference in getting our economy moving again." Democrats like Senator Elizabeth Warren have complained that the nearly 500-page bill was being voted on too fast.
And why? Because they know they've got what they mostly need in here, and that's the payoff to the big Republican donors. And whatever else it does to hardworking families, whatever else it does to this economy, they don't care.
It had many changes written in by hand. And the number of lobbyists involved in this bill, 6,000. The outrage could make Democrats fight an upcoming spending bill that would keep the government from shutting down. The deadline is this week.
In today's Hometown Stories from Fox 2 Detroit, Detroit at Work is giving returning citizens, those with misdemeanors or felonies, a second chance.
Don't listen to friends and other people tell you you can't do this. Show them wrong and come out and get the training and then begin the pathway to a decent quality of life.
Armed with resumes, they learn about potential opportunities and regain the confidence to re-enter the workforce. And it's working. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, 6,811 people gained employment in Detroit this year, the most in 7 years. Our next story from Fox 4 Dallas. A senior center on land once owned by Polly Tadlock has teamed up with the Polly Tadlock Elementary School, a natural pairing to help the community and themselves. The kids interview the seniors about their lives, and the seniors help the students with projects like planting flowers.
Because they need us and we need them.
Our final story from Fox 29 Philadelphia. Gene Pimentel's family left their beloved home in Puerto Rico after the devastation of Hurricane Maria. The 26-year-old appeared on Fox 29 while he was at Philadelphia's Disaster Assistance Service Center looking for work to support his wife, 3 kids, and grandmother. And the Fox viewers didn't disappoint. After several offers, Gene began work at Chick-fil-A as an assistant manager. It's always nice to see when good things happen to deserving people.
An Instagram account featuring hotel carpets from around the world is going viral. Bill Young is a corporate pilot who travels all over the world. He says he happened to start noticing crazy carpet patterns in the hotels he was staying in and photographed them for fun. He liked the unique patterns, the colors, and the shapes that he saw, and he created an Instagram account called My Hotel Carpet about 2 years ago. It had around 100 followers until his daughter happened to tweet about it. The tweet went viral, and he now has more than 565,000 followers. But with more followers comes more stress. He says he feels the pressure to post new pictures. Gotta feel the demand of all those people eagerly awaiting their hotel carpet updates.
Good news for moms looking to jump back into the workforce. A nonprofit called Path Forward aims at creating what they call returnship positions at companies for mid-career professionals, mainly women who left the workforce for an extended period of time to care for a child or loved one. And it's not just a pipe dream. Some major companies have signed on with Path Forward for their 2018 program, including Apple, Oracle, Campbell's Soup Company, and Intuit. Since the company's launch in March of 2016, 142 individuals have participated, and 85% of them were able to find a full-time job within 6 months of the program. What a great way to ease back into a professional setting while getting some fresh experience on your resume.
A new invention offers a glimpse into how we might shop in the future. Accardo is an online grocery store in the United Kingdom. They have developed a robot that sorts groceries in its warehouses. The robot uses a suction cup at the end of an arm to pick up items. It sees what it's picking up with Microsoft Kinect cameras and recognizes the items with artificial intelligence. It takes about 5 seconds to move an item, about as fast as a human. It has sensors to scan products, barcodes, and another sensor to keep it from crushing delicate items. It will be used for moving groceries from storage to crates for delivery, and eventually it will be able to recognize about 50,000 items. The chain hopes its robots will help it speed up deliveries and lower prices. Sadly, all this automation means there will be no jobs left for humans, so they won't be able to order the groceries in the first place.
A fifth-year senior playing football for Mississippi State has plenty of fans, but none bigger than little Jessie Sloan. Jessie has been going to games since she was a baby, and last season, after saying a simple hello after the game, she was instantly drawn to standout Donald Gray. From that hello and high five, she started waiting to greet Donald after every home game. And though adorable, it was much deeper than that for Donald, too. It became a special friendship. He even gave her a nickname, his best girl. At Donald's final home game, the last game he would run over to see Jessie on the sidelines, nobody knew how hard the goodbye would be. In fact, a dry eye was hard to find. Jessie and Donald pinky promised to stay best friends. You'd think the kid would be the one having a little separation anxiety, but Donald's raw emotion goes to show how special an unlikely supporter can be. Donald said, "Seeing Jessie after every game changed my life." Of course, the besties went their separate ways. I mean, Jessie has a serious elementary school career to get to. But one thing's for sure, the 2017 season is one neither Jessie or Donald will ever forget.
A new study done by US and Swiss researchers says when it comes to authenticating art, artificial intelligence might become the way to go to detect forgeries. To do this, researchers broke down 297 line drawings into about 80,000 individual strokes by 4 master painters: Pablo Picasso, Henri Matisse, Amedeo Modigliani, and Egon Schiele. According to Axios, researchers fed this information into 2 artificial intelligence systems, and when they cross-referenced art through these systems, AI was able to detect the correct artist from forgeries around 80% of the time. The accuracy is based on the natural ease of the brush movement of the masters versus the precise moves needed to recreate artwork. Laura Patton, the lead in finance practice for Deloitte, says authenticity is the third rail. Historically, it's the most challenging risk issue for the art market going back to the Renaissance. I imagine there's a lot of wealthy art collectors who'll be going nowhere near this technology.
A children's toy, adult glasses, and a conversion kit may be unsafe for you and your family. Details in today's recall alert. Totally Me clay craft kits can get mold in the clay. They were sold at Babies R Us and Toys R Us stores nationwide between January and October of this year for about $10. The manufacturer says you can return them to the stores for store credit. Another recall to tell you about 230,000 glasses are included in this one. The Libby 8-ounce taster bourbon glasses may break during normal use, posing a laceration hazard. Libby is telling customers to return the glasses for a full refund. And finally, hundreds of dirt-to-snow bike conversion kits can be dangerous. The brake system on the Camzo DT129 product may not function properly. The company says you can call an authorized dealer for a free repair.
Residents reacted in anger when one of San Francisco's most exclusive streets was sold to just 2 people for $90,000. An auction for the cul-de-sac was scheduled because the Homeowners Association had failed to pay a $14 property tax bill. $14. So Michael Cheng and Tina Lam won the auction for $90,000, which would give them ownership over the sidewalk, street, common areas, and about 100 parking spaces. But residents claimed they knew nothing about the 2015 auction until representatives of the couple asked the Homeowners Association if they wanted to buy it back. The city has now rescinded the auction sale after a board of supervisors voted 7-4 to cancel the sale. But the couple who thought they fairly bought the street said they aren't giving up the fight, a fight that sounds like it could be long and tedious.
12-year-old piano prodigy Daniel Culliner has achieved what most musicians can only dream about, performing a solo at Carnegie Hall. But his journey to the storied concert venue wasn't an easy one. At the age of just 6 months, Daniel was diagnosed with stage 4 neuroblastoma. His pediatric oncologist gave him a 25% chance of surviving to age 5. But after extensive chemotherapy, Daniel was able to make a miraculous recovery and is now in remission. Daniel's doctors encouraged him to play the piano piano to help his brain develop. Safe to say, it's gone pretty well for him. In 2015, Daniel was ready for another challenge, so he started playing the organ. Laser focused on his passion, Daniel practices 4 hours a day, every day. And after playing Carnegie Hall, he got to perform at another famous venue, St. Patrick's Cathedral. So when your little ones don't want to practice their piano, tell them this story as a reminder that practice pays off. Hey Richard, what's coming up on the next show?
Kristen, we are talking about the fashion industry. Every second, a truckload of clothes is thrown out in America. A new study reveals what the clothing business is doing to the environment. We'll break down what it can cost to get children into the most elite schools in America and learn how this Army Sergeant gave his girlfriend the surprise of a lifetime in front of 20,000 people. All these stories and more coming up on the next Top 30.